Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Young Bucks live on GrizzCon TV. Once again, me and Holmes are back with a couple of guests. A couple of debutantes actually on the channel today, which is great to see. The main man Grizz is always giving opportunity for new people on this channel, which is amazing. So today we're joined by Chris and my good friend Jamie. How are we, boys?
Smashing. Really, really good. Happy to be here, lads. Back in sunny Herefordshire. I'll say sunny. It's not really that sunny. So no sort of green screens or nothing today. It's just chilling in the hometown. But yeah, I'm happy to be here, boys.
Jamie?
I'm fantastic, especially after last night. Got that buzz, and really happy. Yeah,
that was
cool. And obviously the main man Holmes. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm excited for this show actually.
This is going to be interesting.
Seeing that tier list. So yeah, people just get involved in the comments, everything. As always, we like to engage with you. Whatever chat you want to bring into the comments, it's widely encouraged. Make sure to like and subscribe, all of that nonsense, and we'll just get into it, I guess. So we've bravely got a tier list. Let me zoom in on that. And it's just Liverpool players, past and present. As you can see, we've got 5 tiers, self-explanatory, and we're just going to go one by one. I think some decisions are more obvious than others. Make of that what you will. So yeah, we'll just go from the top. Number 1, we have how can we describe Mascherano? Cult hero?
The destroyer.
The destroyer. The man. Part of the greatest midfield the world has ever seen. Javier Mascherano. Ben, thoughts on Maschi?
Yeah, listen, I think Mascherano was incredible. Of course, he was one of the best DMs in the Premier League, certainly potentially the world, to be fair, when he was at his absolute peak. And the reason why I always know Mascherano was an amazing player is because it took us so long to replace him. We finally got it. We got it right with Fabinho. But when Mascherano left, we didn't have a top DM for a long, long time. So Mascherano was part of that Rafa Benitez team, which came close to winning the title. He was incredible. Obviously, I was a lot younger watching Liverpool at that time, so I kind of don't really have that much of an idea about the ins and outs of the game. But what I do remember of Mascherano is you didn't mess with him. He was solid every game. Always put his heart on his sleeve for Liverpool. And everyone rates Mascherano, basically. No one's got a bad word to say about the lad.
No, spot on. João Cancelo, thank you for tuning in. You are the second best fullback, third best fullback in the league. Chris Tessa, fourth. Well, if we including Conor Bradley in that.
Costas, mate. Costas.
Grizz Tessa, he didn't fancy a Thursday night shift. He gave us the Europa League slot. So you've got these 4 youngsters just causing carnage in a European away day. Jamie, Javier Mascherano, thoughts? Where we got him?
Oh, it's a tough one. I wish I was a little bit older to watch him at his peak, but his Liverpool career is fantastic. His longevity, he always wore his heart on his sleeve. He's just a Liverpool player through and through. And like Ben said, such a tough player and such a player you'd want to see now. He brings that fear factor to the team. Where do I put him is very tough. I think GOAT status is a little bit too far, but good's way too harsh. So I think I'm going to have to put him in a great.
That's so. Wait, Ben, where did you have him? Did you say where you had him?
I think the problem is with the first one is I don't want to set the standard too high, or what I mean.
True.
So if we put GOAT is for like specific players, which we all know who's on there. So your Stevies, your Dalglishes, whatever, and then great is Mascherano a great. That's what we're going by, right? For the second
Yeah.
tier, like great means you're
I've been
a
harsh.
Liverpool great.
I've been harsh.
Harsh, Chris, take it away.
It's between great and good. I think there's like a middle bit which we don't have. But
I'm not going to lie, boys. I put him in okay.
Really?
I did, because I took it into context of players in this list, and Mascherano doesn't trump a lot of them. Look, on his day, one of the best midfielders in the world when we had him, but let's not forget we only had him for 3 years. He only had 3 years at Liverpool. Look, unbelievable, and as you mentioned, it took so long to replace him, but in terms of legacy and other players on this list, I put him in okay, because there's some players here who have won multiple trophies with Liverpool and have had influences almost greater than Mascherano, who will be put in maybe 1 or 2 levels higher. So I think we've got to be harsh on it. I might be being a bit too harsh, but I put him in okay.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to come to an agreement here. Obviously, he's on his day an unbelievable player, and he proved it at Liverpool and at Barcelona. But I think to be considered a great at the club, you have to make more of a drastic contribution to the club and the club's history. And whilst he was here and had 2-3 very good seasons, I think we can rule out GOAT tier. For me, I'm leaning more towards Chris, but I'd say good. I'd have him in the good tier, because brilliant player, but he didn't win any silverware at the club, which was sad considering the team we had then. And I think that's our average, to be honest. Anyway, I think so. Yeah. Are we happy with him in the good tier?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I wasn't taking into account the rest of the players, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
Forward planning, boys. Come on. You gotta do your research.
Chris, you've got yours laid.
I sent the link as well.
You've got the whole tier list. It's a tier list laid out already.
I had an hour's train ride home, and what do you think I was doing?
You're scrutinising this whole list. Fabinho. Well, that's an interesting one, because if you're going to compare Mascherano to someone, it'd be Fabinho. Yeah. Ben, thoughts?
Fabinho is the best DM I've seen at Liverpool, comfortably. I think as well, the big factor you've got to take into account is the fee that we bought him for. What was it, 35, 40 million? It's an absolute steal. I'd put him in great, to be fair, because I think when you look back on this Klopp era, which of course hasn't finished yet, we'll probably, have a lot of these players in greats or goats. You can't put him in GOAT yet, because obviously he's had 3-4 years. But like I say, looking back, when everything's finished in 10 years' time, maybe when we've got kids and we talk to them about this era, I think Fabinho is one that will definitely be spoken about a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm impartial to that. I think if you've got Mascherano as a marker there, and like what Fabinho's already done is impeccable. Chris, thoughts?
I put him in good. I think the comparisons between Fabinho and Mascherano is that they're completely opposite personalities. Fabinho is quite calm, he's quiet, while Mascherano's disciplinary record was quite terrible. I have a lot more faith in Fabinho than I ever had in Mascherano. That team is the first team that I fell in love with as a Liverpool fan. And Fabinho, in terms of quality, is, in my opinion, quite a way clear of Javier Mascherano. I don't want to seem disrespectful, because he, again, was a great player, but it just shows how good Fabinho is. And yeah, mate, honestly, I think he's fantastic, but I just think he needs to have a few more years at the club to establish his legacy. It's a crime we don't have a song for him. It really, really is.
Yeah,
that's mad.
It's got to be sorted.
It's a good name. It's a good name to have a song to as well.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Anfield faithful needs to.
Fabinho, Nazario.
To be fair, they did one for the tune that Jota's got now, but they just binned it off and went with the Jota song.
Jota's on
Fabinho
quality,
had
innit?
one first, didn't he? But it is what it is.
Love it. Yeah. So I put him in good. But I do think if we've got Mascherano in good, we should put Fabinho in great.
Yeah,
That was my logic.
I agree with that. Jamie, I mean, you probably grown up with this team like for the last few years. What's your thoughts on Fabinho?
Yeah, I'd sway more towards Ben's decision in great. I think we're currently witnessing something that we've never witnessed as Liverpool fans in this era. We've won the Premier League, we've won the Champions League as well, just a season apart. It's a fantastic era that we're living in. And in my opinion, I think Fabinho is our most important midfielder in this team. So I think that speaks volumes of how great he's been in his career at Liverpool. He's crucial to our success in the last few years. So I would edge him great, especially with Mascherano in good. I think his legacy is better. He's got 2 massive trophies to his name as well to add on to his list. I just think he's a fantastic player. So I think great screams his name.
Yeah, I think the fact that Mascherano isn't good, we will have Fabinho in great. I'm gonna sort of predict the future and say that he will go down as a Liverpool great. If he goes down, if we end up recognizing him as one of the goats of Liverpool Football Club, something good has happened. But well, I'm happy to put him in great. Are we all
I think,
good with
yeah,
that?
Ali's also just made a good point. Fab's got more goals over Mascherano. And if you look in, I know it's just recent, but Fabinho's got what, 5 in his last 7 or something stupid like that, or 8? I don't know what it is, but he's adding goals to his
Fabinho
game.
Nazario, I'm calling him now.
Exactly.
Got to be done.
Exactly.
What a player.
Give him that 7 when Milner leaves, in my opinion.
Nah. Harvey's a 7.
I would love to see Harvey with the 7.
Harvey, who is on the back, boys.
There he is.
Wow.
Oh mate, what a shirt. That's gonna go for a fortune.
Well, it would if it wasn't a fake from China.
Is it that website you told me about?
My brother said I'm not allowed to get Elliot on a shirt because I'm 24 and he's 18, so it would be a bit weird, but
I'm 19. It's sound. Honestly, it's absolute limbs. And by the way, I've heard this joke since reception.
Chris Stone Age.
It's honestly, I take it in, gotta drink it in, you know. But come on, originality is worth it, boys. Come on.
Ben, hello Ben. Same talk.
Hi, Zane. Zane's the GOAT. Follow on Twitter.
Bum. Righty ho. Here we go. Gary Ablett. Our favourite player.
Ablett, isn't that not Alan Hansen?
Oh, it's Hansen.
I'm pretty sure that's Alan Hansen.
Oh, that is Alan Hansen.
Oh, Homer exposed.
You're gonna have to be
I'm gonna have everyone just, you know what, to avoid everything right now. Thea is absolutely right. If you don't smash the likes,
spot on, mate.
Smash the likes. 1 like equals 1 pray for Homer.
Yeah. one less shaming on Twitter tonight. Twitter.com tonight. Mr. Allen. Chris, you put me in the mud there. We were going through this earlier. Alan,
seeing as Chris has got it all planned, I reckon he should go first for this one.
Yeah, take it away, Chris.
Yeah, from memory, I'll put him in GOAT because my dad always talks of great centre backs, and this is all from my dad, by the way. He always talks of great centre backs and people who are underrated in the history of football. Alan Hansen, just because of maybe because of his punditry that was a little bit dry. He's been a little bit underrated by everyone. He was a Rolls Royce of a centre back, the original Rolls Royce. He brought the ball out from the back when it wasn't fashionable. He dribbled with the ball. He was elegant. He walked so Van Dijk could run. I think him and Van Dijk would be the GOAT pairing for Liverpool. So yeah, definitely GOAT.
Yeah, no, I think if we could have an all-time 11, which we might do a show on, who knows, that would probably hands down be the centre-back pairing. Ben, any disagreements with that?
No, I mean, obviously, with these players, we have to kind of go from what we've learned, what we might have watched a few matches from on the telly or whatever. You probably have to put him there, to be fair. And you're right. I think the whole match of the day thing kind of gave people the persona that, oh, this guy's just one of those pundits. But obviously, if you speak to, like Chris said, people from his generation, they'll bang on about how good he was, how he was one of the best on his game. And I think it was 8 league titles and 3 European Cups he won with the club. And you think now we're putting Virgil into the GOAT category after winning 1 league title and 1 Champions League. It's like, well, these guys were instrumental to winning 4 times the amount in terms of league titles. So, yeah, I think you have to put him in GOAT.
Yeah, no, Jamie, any disagreements with that, mate?
Yeah, well, it's Crown Paints era, so it's hard for me only being 17. But I've got to live and learn off the stories that my dad's told me. Like Chris has just said, I've got to go with the crowd here. He often gets compared to Van Dijk of the old era, which is enough for me to say GOAT status. So I'm happy to follow the crowd and go GOAT.
Yeah, I think from an alternative perspective, I know we give a lot of pundits a lot of stick on this show, but I thought he was alright as a pundit. him and it was normally him and Mark Lawrenson on Match of the Day. I don't know if it was because there was a bit of LFC bias, but we'll take what we can get.
I think he made a bit of a dick of himself with the old class of '92 thing.
Oh, you can't win anything with a kid.
It's like don't mess with Alex Ferguson in the media. You're in the mud from the start. Don't even bother.
He was, yeah. Well, at least he's got a punchline to be remembered for. Right. We've got our first GOAT.
I don't think it'll be the last either. Just spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Well, we've got a few GOATs in there.
I mean, Alberto Moreno is there, so you know.
and Carragher. Carragher himself.
Benteke.
This beautiful man over here, Alisson Becker. Chris, thoughts?
I was just saying to my mum in the car on the way back. We were just talking about the game because that's what we do because we've got nothing else going on in our lives. And what we did is we were discussing Alisson and how he's actually improved this season. Like, you didn't think it would be possible for a goalkeeper of his standard to improve and get better. He's genuinely done that. I honestly, any other goalkeeper in the world don't come close to him on one-on-ones. He's the best one-on-ones because he's so agile. He doesn't go down, and when he is down, he can still get up in a quick as a flash. It would be difficult for me to put him in GOAT because he still has only won the couple, but I would put him in great. He's the best goalkeeper in the modern era for Liverpool by a stretch.
Yeah, I think. Oh mate, on that one-on-one point, it's when you see him keep, you just think you're confident in him in a one-on-one situation. Normally, the striker should be dictating that sort of play, that sort of in scenario. But Alisson every time just dictates the situation, and I've never seen a keeper like it. Like, I know Manuel Neuer was like a notorious sweeper keeper, but like 1v1 defending, he's a bit mad. We all love a bit of a mad man. Ben, where we got him?
Yeah, I think it's great for now, but like I said, same with Fabinho. When hopefully at the end of this era, we'll be talking about all the trophies he's won. Alisson, the whole improvement thing as well. It's a good point, to be fair, because we all know that Alisson had a lot going on last season, and I definitely think that affected him on the pitch. Like, there was a period where he just lost it, really. He looked like he just needed a 2 or 3 month break, which is understandable. But Ali is the best, hands down the best keeper. I mean, we've not been sport for choice, have we? We've had Pepe Reina, who was good for about 4 years, and that's about it, other than Ali. So, yeah, Ali's the best keeper by an absolute country mile that I've seen at Liverpool. The best thing I like about him is he doesn't have to do camera saves because he's already in the right position. You never see him scrambling. If he's scrambling, he's beaten. That's basically the bottom line. If he's having to scramble, then it's probably a goal. Because his positioning is just ridiculous. Like you said, Chris, Manuel Neuer is probably, or was it Holmes? I think it was Holmes. the one that kind of Alisson based his whole game on, really. The whole modern sweeper keeper kind of thing. So, yeah, I'd definitely put him in GOAT maybe five more years or whatever if he stays around that long. But for now, definitely agree.
Yeah.
I think Clemence is probably the GOAT, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he is the sort of. I think was it Alisson was singing Clemence's praises last year when Clemence passed away. Like, it's just a respect everyone has for that guy. But we'll get onto that. Jamie, where we got the man.
Yeah, there's not much more to add. I think great suits him. I'm happy to put him in great. He just makes goalkeeping look so easy. He makes me think I can be a keeper, and I've never once played there. Everything is just so simple with him, and it's so relaxing to have him in the back of the net. I don't even know how Van Dijk, Canate, Matip, all the centre-backs that have played with him feel with him behind them. But he's just assurance in everything. So I think great's very suited for Alisson. And hopefully GOAT soon.
Hopefully. Well, to be honest, I don't think there'd be much argument with people saying that he's probably the most talented goalkeeper we've ever had. I think, obviously, you've got your Grobbelaars, your Clemences, and they're absolute legends. But for talent, like skill set,
yeah,
I think the keeper has evolved so much over generations, and he's just a perfect example of what the modern day goalkeeper is all about. Yeah, so I've already got him in great because he is a great guy. Here we go, the son of.
I don't think we even need to debate this one.
The son of Steven Gerrard and Xabi Alonso. he started his Liverpool career so well with that blinding John Arne Riise-esque screamer against Spurs, and then
Unreal goal.
then it just, it didn't come to fruition, as they say. Chris, well, I'll go with you again.
Right, listen. All I say, and I'll keep it short and sweet. I've never seen any footballer so positionally inept in my entire life. There were some games where he was just like, I don't even know what he was doing. I think the play might have been Crystal Palace as well, and this is just a separate point. And he fouled a lad. It was a penalty, but he didn't get given. The lad gets up. I think it was Zaha.
He does it again,
and then he just shoves him over. It's like
he got away with the first one.
I mean, he's a great character, but yeah, nah. He is by far. He's probably the worst out of all of them. So bottom tier, mate. I don't do drugs, boys. Don't do drugs. Good boy.
We're on 26 likes and we have 21 people watching, so we've broken a matrix already. Well, if we get to 40 likes in the next 5 minutes, Chris will give you his best Moreno Man United get out impression.
I'll do it.
He'll give you his best one.
Get to 40. Get to 40.
Smash, get to 40, guys. We need it. Jamie, where we got the man?
Oh, he was a very, very struggle watch at times, Alberto Moreno. It's just he was way too prone to mistakes, and he was just frustrating to watch. Somehow he walks away from the club with a Champions League medal, so I give him credit for that. And he was a great guy, but it's got to be the bottom category. It has to be the bottom category.
So have we all? So Chris, you had him in. You had him right at the.
He was even worse than a certain player who's coming up next.
Oh God. Ben, where we got the man?
It's got to be bottom. I mean, you were kidding. My one was the Europa League against Dortmund.
Oh,
the goal that Aubameyang scored. Where Sacco had to cover in for him, and obviously Sacco just didn't have a chance. And obviously we won the game, but that wasn't any thanks to Moreno. That was actually ironically Dejan Lovren, but that's another story.
That was a great left-hand side of defence, wasn't it? Lovren and Moreno. Those are the Michael Ball has called us pups. Thank you, Michael.
We didn't have a go at Clemence. We were picking him up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we called him a legend.
Who said we had a go at Clemence?
We said he's the GOAT.
Michael.
Michael,
Here we go.
mate, listen,
We got
this is
non
the young bucks.
non-
None your
Yes.
business. What a name.
none of this. Oh, just got it. God.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, Moreno's got to be at the bottom. It has to be.
Even if I had him as GOAT tier, I think on the balance of everything. Sorry, Alberto. You look at the names above you. These are men that have.
I wondered
really-
why Chris was giving a funny look. I thought it's something I'd said, but then obviously I've seen Michael Bull's comment. Like,
Or maybe it was,
Michael-
mate. Maybe it was.
you're offended by
Maybe it
my
was like,
Moreno slander, mate.
Like, nah, mate. Moreno clear. Robertson fraud.
C Benteke. An interesting case. He was here for a season, right? And it was a weird
I think it was
season.
two.
Was he?
Nah, one season.
It was one season.
one?
Was it fifth? It was 15, 16,
16.
wasn't it? Yeah. And he obviously came with a massive price tag. And he actually scored. It's not like he didn't score.
United goal. I know we
The
lost.
United goal, yeah. He scored. He was one of our top scorers that season, if I remember. I think him, Firmino, Sturridge all contributed about 10 to 15 goals. But he just didn't. I think with Jurgen Klopp coming in, he just didn't fit the team. So yeah, Chris, it's an interesting one. Where have we got him?
I've got him in bottom tier. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the pure. I've never been more excited for a signing in my life than Christian Benteke, right? And that
He
might have been
terrorised us.
that might have been a combination of youth and a naivety. But mate, I was so excited. I changed my Instagram to @a Belgian striker. That was my Instagram @. I was that excited. I'm 14 years old.
In
I was
honor of
buzzing.
Divock Origi, I hope.
No, Benteke, when Benteke signed, I was honestly, I'm surprised I didn't get a shirt, to be honest. I was so excited. And then he came in and scored 4 or 5 goals in his first 5-6 games. And I was like, oh, mate, this is our number 9 for the next 5-10 years. I'm buzzing here. And then Jurgen came in. And it's one of the sad things, really. He is obviously very, very suited to his own skill set and to a certain style of play. And that's why he's been effective at Villa and Palace. But yeah, he just didn't fit Liverpool, and it's a shame. But he's gone on to have a very, very respectable career. And he's very, very good at what he does. He still is.
Yeah, he's a Premier League striker. He's a seasoned pro, as they say. Jamie, thoughts on the Benteke?
As his Liverpool legacy, it's definitely bottom tier. He come in, as you said, as a hefty price tag, huge expectations as well. I remember my dad running into my room saying that Benteke's a red, and we're jumping around the living room, and then he comes and lasts one season, and he was just poor. So the excitement we had around him for his productivity. Yeah, he deserves nothing but bottom tier, and I do feel for him because he showed glimpses of quality, like the overhead kick at United at Old Trafford. But it's a moments player, and he was awful at Liverpool.
Yeah, right. We're two bottom tiers here. Ben, are we tripling up on that?
Just what they said, mate. Just exactly what those two said. No need to say any more, really. Again, excited when he signed. I had that the same feeling when we signed Balotelli as well. I'm not sure if he's on the list, but yeah, I think the problem was we were down bad, and obviously Suarez had gone. So I don't know. We just signed this guy who, again, he terrorized us before. He'd scored so many goals in the Premier League already, so we kind of had this feeling that, okay, maybe he might be a new bagsman, but obviously didn't work out. As soon as Klopp comes in, he binned him. I thought he was there for 2 seasons. Like, that's crazy. I can't believe he's only there for 1.
Yeah. I don't know. I actually had him. I had him in the OK tier because I was trying to compare him to what we've got in the bottom tier. And to be fair, weirdly enough, Moreno probably had a more successful career for Liverpool. But I think he did in the season. He did okay. He just did not hit the standards that were expected of him, and we were probably all blind to what this guy's actual talent level was. So I'm happy to put him in bottom tier because, to be honest, like if we're harsh now, it makes it a lot easier in the near future when we get.
Not being harsh, just being honest, isn't it?
Being honest.
At the end of the day,
you're an honest man, Chris. You've always been an honest man. Here we go. One of my favourite Liverpool players of all time because I'm left-footed, he's left-footed. He's got one of the best left foots the league has ever seen. Arne Riise. Chris, thoughts on this man?
Oh, mate. I'm going to have to come back to me on this one. I'm still undecided.
We'll go with Jamie.
Oh, it's tough because again he's a bit before my time, but where do we put him? A wonder of a left foot, like you said. I remember watching him in the charity game. I think it was Liverpool Barca Legends, and this guy can still whip a shot on his left foot. He's an absolute wizard. It's hard because of my age, and I can only go off what I've heard from people above me, from stories that my dad tells. But as a benchmark, I'd put him in great. But I'm happy to see what Chris, Omar, and Ben says. He's got a bit more experience.
Yeah, Ben, do you want to take it away?
I'd put him. What's the one below great? Is it good?
Good, yeah.
I'd probably put him good. I don't know, man. Obviously, he was there for the FA Cup win, Champions League, League Cup. He won a fair few trophies, to be fair. To say that Liverpool weren't the most dominant of sides in that era. Again, the whole left foot thing, everyone's always going to mention that. Obviously, he's still singing a song now about Jordan Riise. So, yeah, I mean, growing up, he was the best left back, Liverpool had by distance, but I think a certain left back has surpassed him, which is going to go in the tier above. So that's why I'm putting Riise in good.
Chris, have you come to a solution? Do you agree with this comment, by the way? Would you say he'd be behind Tsimikas and Robertson?
Not Tsimikas. Actually,
Not
they're
yet.
different, though, aren't they? To be fair.
Yeah. I think fullbacks have evolved. I think he was still a very attacking fullback and was a little bit of a defensive liability at the time. Even in Rafa's side, he was even moved to left midfield towards the end of his Liverpool career because of Fabio Aurelio, who is, by the way, I think it was mentioned earlier, if he hadn't been injured, he'd have been our left back for years and years and years.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm going to go for good. I just think there was too many weaknesses to his game to be considered a great. But he still had the moments he provided were GOAT moments. The free kick against Man United is still one of the
celebration as well.
One of the best goals Liverpool have scored in the Premier League era. It's nearly the best. It's unbelievable. But yeah, good, I think is probably fair enough.
I think when Martin Tyler gets excited about a Liverpool goal, it's a good goal. So yeah, and he broke Alan Smith's leg, didn't he? With a free kick.
He did.
I don't remember.
He did.
It's a brutal man.
Just whacked it straight at his leg. Snapped.
Norwegian man. I'm happy to have him in good. I think he contributed. He was a key part of the Istanbul team.
Scored at Nou Camp as well.
Was it the story about him and Bellamy coming after each other?
The golf course.
Just absolutely losing their heads on each other. But all right, this next one's an emotional one.
This is tough, man. This one is tough.
the first man to make me cry. Fernando Torres.
Honestly, same as well.
We'll go with Jamie because Jamie, thoughts on Mr. Fernando Torres and the club.
Special player. Carried us through a tough period as well. Him and Gerrard were absolutely phenomenal. I just wish we got to see more of him, and I think that's what dampens it where he'll finish in this tier list with the outcome of him going to Chelsea. But look, in hindsight, before he made the move, it looked the right one for him. Chelsea were on fire at the time. It was prime Chelsea years. He was leaving a not so great Liverpool side at the time, but unfortunately for him, it didn't work out for him. But in terms of Liverpool and what he did for us, he was absolutely magical. You're still seeing clips of what he did to the greats. We played into last night, and you're seeing the clips of him back then when he ripped the San Siro apart. You're seeing the clips of Real Madrid. Kids inspired to be a striker like Fernando Torres, but it's always got a stick in my head what he left. And I think in terms of Liverpool legacy, I'm gonna have to put him in good.
I mean, yeah, it's this comment goes good, not great. Same as Mash, lack of trophies. Do you think, Chris? Do you think trophies make a big difference in the way a player is looked at in terms of their legacy at the club?
Personally, no, but it does help. I would say it's a contributing factor. And the fact that that team didn't win anything is a contributing factor as to why maybe they're not viewed. But I personally, I think a player should be viewed on their individual quality rather than what they won, because that's a team effort. But saying that, Torres is my favourite all-time Liverpool player. Purely because of he was growing up, he was the man. It was Gerrard and Torres. But mate, Macahil, whatever. I hope I haven't butchered your name.
It's Mikhail.
Yeah. There we go. Sorry, terrible. I have to put him in good because you see the players that are coming up, and they've contributed a lot more. And Torres broke my heart. All right, and I'm still not over it. I remember my dad comforting me. I was 9. And I remember him. He was like, "Don't worry, Chris. We're signing Andy Carroll. It's fine."
I knew that was coming.
Honestly, I'm going to file for posthumous child abuse because Jesus Christ, he got my hopes up with Andy Carroll. That's painful. So yeah, good for me.
Can we sign Suarez?
We did sign Suarez, but Andy Carroll was his words.
And at the time, we didn't know how good Suarez was going to be as well. Right? So.
There was more hype about Carroll because Carroll was, as they say, Premier League proven.
And Newcastle just named a figure and probably added a 0 to it, and we still paid it.
We literally signed him because he bagged, I think, a brace against us like a month beforehand. But you know,
so yeah, I would say good, purely because he broke my heart, and I'm still not over it.
Ben, are we tripling up on the good again?
The thing about Torres is everyone my age or even just a bit below on the playground, everyone was trying to imitate this guy with like the bands on the wrists, you know, the headband, all that kind of thing, if you had long enough hair to do it. I never did. But I think Torres, if we was willing to tinker things around a bit, because I do think good is a bit harsh, and it wasn't 2 years either. Whoever put that, it was more 4 years, from about 2007 till about 2010, 11. And I know he fell off a bit just before he left as well, to be fair. But, you know, we've got to look at his peak years, his best years. And I do think it is harsh putting him in good, I have to say. I definitely think he was more than good. So if he was willing to, if Riise or whatever is a factor, maybe we could do some tinkering. I don't know, but yeah, I'm easy. Whatever you guys.
I'd say he's the top of good. He's definitely the top of good. I don't know if we're doing orders, but he's definitely the top of good.
We can do orders. We can. Well, this is going to be controversial because I'm with Ben here. I have him in great, so we're 2-2. So I don't know if the
bottom of great, I can accept.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay, well, all right. Chris is.
I just think like good is like just a steady player, and
it sounds very harsh. It does sound very harsh.
It does sound harsh, but he broke a heart, boys.
Yeah. Chris is a cold man. He's a cold man now, Christopher.
To be fair, he would absolutely beat the shit out of me, so I can't really say anything.
Oh, he's massive, yeah.
He's
right, we'll have him bottom of great. I think objectively, at the time, he was probably the best striker in the world when he was at Liverpool. So, yeah, I just saw the next name, and I'm not looking forward
Oh
to
my
this.
god, we don't even need to just chuck it in the bin.
Just
get
put him
rid.
there.
Just seeing
Just put him
seeing
there.
that picture depresses
Yeah,
me.
the photo still hurts me.
What a picture
Just
to use as
getting
well.
good. Just
Just
getting good.
put him there. Can we not gloss
Yeah,
over
we don't
that
need
night,
to.
please?
Yeah, let's just put him at the bottom and move on.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Okay, next up on the list, who we got?
Stevie Heighway. So obviously
I don't
the
know what to
song
say.
absolute banger.
Yeah.
I don't know if you lads know the story about him and Steven Gerrard. So Steven Gerrard nearly lost his foot. As like a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
kick the
pitfall.
ground.
Tried to kick a ball through a bush, and they wanted to amputate his foot, his right foot. Imagine no Steven Gerrard and no right foot. My life would not be anywhere near as fun. And Stevie Heighway was the guy who was like, no, this guy needs to like keep his foot because he's good at football. Thank you. So just for that contribution alone, just for arguably preserving our greatest ever player, he's already a great for me. Don't know about you, Chris. Where have you got him?
I put him in great. He was part of my mum and dad's generation when they were growing up, and he was a very traditional winger, very much get down the side, cross the ball into Toshak and Keegan. So yeah, a great European Cup winner, multiple 11 years at the club. He was, again, my dad and my mum fancied him when she was younger. So
Wow.
yeah, back in the day. So
Controversial taste.
definitely top of great. I wouldn't say he's quite GOAT purely because his record wasn't as unbelievable as some of the players coming up. But yeah, definitely great for the contributions he made, not only on the pitch but off the pitch.
Yeah, he was a coach as well for a while, wasn't he? He was like in the academy, just doing his thing. So yeah, Jamie, Stevie Heighway.
Well, I was far from being born when Stevie Heighway was playing for us, but from what I've been told, I'm happy to go with Chris. There's a reason why we sing Stevie Heighway on the wing. We had dreams to songs to sing. So for that, I'd put him in great, especially after the story he told us with Gerrard. That can nick him up there as well. So I'm happy to follow the crowd.
We had Fernando Torres and Michael Ball had Stevie Heighway. Respect. Ben, are we gracing this man?
Yeah, I mean, look, I know Wick is not everything, but if you look on there, you can see exactly what he won, exactly how influential he was to Liverpool's success in the 70s, 80s, whatever. Is what it is, man. Jamie hit the nail on the head. Even the kids of today on the cop or whatever are singing Stevie Heighway on the wing, and they've never even seen this guy. So I think that tells you everything you need to know. Like you say, I'm sure Michael will be able to give us more of an insight into this guy. I think the whole thing is like for us, we just have to kind of respect these guys because they're what the older generation have told us, the stories, the big moments that have been passed down. So these are the most successful players in our club's history, so they have to be greats.
Yeah, I'm impartial to that. Heighway was a legend during and after his career. I think if you're ever going to have a Liverpool great, it's this man. We're on 25 people watching and we have 34 likes. So my maths isn't great, but that doesn't work. Thank you. We're technically outproducting ourselves here. But guys, please, seriously, just smash that like
subscribe as well because Grizz needs subscribers basically. So make Grizz happy.
We're doing Grizz's. Grizz, here we go. Pixelated pigeon. If you
That's
don't
a great name.
If you don't listen to
one of them
Pixelated
NFTs
pigeon,
or something.
it looks like one, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I purchase you?
Christ.
If you don't listen to the Pixelated pigeon, who you ever?
I know
going
this
to
is meant to
listen
be a young person show, but what are those bloody NFTs? I don't get them. What are they? I sound like a right old man. But you can literally save the image. You could save the image.
You could screen grab this like us right now and
Oh,
say
can we
that's
make an NFT, guys, and sell it for money?
Young
Right.
Bucks NFT. I'm sure we've got a few investors already. But yeah. Where are we? Oh, we need to. Oh, we're behind. Steve.
Sticking top are great. I would.
There we go.
Not enough
Cara.
tiers for some of these players. Need a tier between great and goat, Nanya says. Or Nonya. Is that Nanya or Nonya? Nonya.
Need a
It's
tier
a good
between
point, to be
goat.
fair, but we didn't make
Nah.
this list, so we'll just stick with it.
So whoever made this list, it's your fault. Jamie Carragher. Often shoved to the side when you talk about Steven Gerrard, but potentially equally as important. Well, in a sense, had a very good role to play at this club. Chris, thoughts on the pundit of the year?
Look, what I'll say about Carragher is, and it's very similar with Hansen, is that when you go into punditry, you're under media scrutiny for your opinions all of the time. Carragher was not the greatest footballer. I think this is well documented, but I think it would be very disrespectful if we put him anywhere but GOAT. Purely because this man played 737 games for Liverpool Football Club. He was a mainstay in all of the teams from 1997 to 2013. That's a great comment. But the fact that he played left back wasn't quite good enough. Played right back wasn't quite good enough. They went to centre half, and he wasn't fashionable. He's not a fashionable player, but his legacy at Liverpool Football Club, both on and off the pitch, again, he's doing amazing work with the 23 Foundation in helping feed kids, and that's a brilliant charity, by the way. Yeah, I would put him in goal, and I think there was a tweet going around yesterday about the 2000 about what's the best defender's performance of all time, and Carragher 2005 needs to be up there because a lot of people credit Gerrard for that game. That was Carragher's greatest ever game in a Liverpool shirt. He put his body.
Carragher was man of the match.
He had cramp as well.
Unbelievable, and the fact that he started a scrap with Dudek as well. But yeah, 737 games for Liverpool, all the silverware that he won. I think it wouldn't be great if we didn't put him anywhere but GOAT. Not a GOAT footballer, but a GOAT legacy.
When did he scrap Dudek?
Before the penalty shootout.
Oh, is that when he was telling him to?
Oh, I don't even remember. He was like shaking him. It was like it was amazing.
Yeah, fair. That's so Carragher can take credit for those penalty saves. Getting inside the Milan heads. Jamie, talk about yourself, mate.
Yeah. well, I think I was gonna put him in great as a footballer, but like Chris said, on legacy, there isn't another place but GOAT. His longevity, he might have been a blue nose when he's a younger, but he's a Scouser and he got it back in that generation. I also love his story about how he was out of favour at left back, like Chris said. He was pushed to the side. He didn't give up. He tried right back again. We kept signing right backs, Carragher said. And then he moved to centre back and he made that position his own. Although he wasn't as good as Hansen and the people that we have up there. For what he did and for how long he did it and the trophies he won for us, GOAT has to be for Carragher.
Yeah. Was it Gerard Houllier, I think, said that he just, no matter what, he needed Carragher in his team.
Yeah.
Wherever you could fit him across the back line. And it's just a commitment this guy gave to the club. Is probably one of the most committed individuals to Liverpool Football Club that's ever been seen. And it's funny because, he supported Everton. Ben, are we ghosting this man?
I guess you both make good points for the legacy. I understand that. As a defender, as a player, nowhere near that standard. But I hear the arguments and the whole thing about his longevity, his legacy. He served this club all through the banter era as well, by the way, which was, I can imagine, very hard to do. My thing with Carragher, his last game against QPR when he hits the bar, man, that would have been the best way a football player has ever bowed out if he scored that. So, yeah, that's just I'm inclined to agree. You've all said GOAT anyway.
I would argue
Go on.
bottom of GOAT, and that could potentially be moved depending on.
Actually, he
What?
spits on Manx, so yeah, GOAT. Let's go.
Oh,
I'm moving on. I'm very picky with my goats.
I don't condone
came
spitting
out.
on children, by the way.
Got to clear that name.
Thanks for this time.
Yeah.
So for me, if we're talking goats, like that's like the top of the top. That's your Gerrards, your Hansens.
Because my thing is, well, I was just to cut you there as well. We've got
Go on.
Hyypiä coming up, who was the centre back of that era, so he was a lot better than Carragher. So what do you do with that?
I think talent-wise, there's no doubt that Sami Hyypiä was one of like our best ever central defenders. But I think when you're talking about all-time Liverpool greats, you can't just consider their otherwise
Sure.
Fernando Torres would be one of like the greatest. He'd keep competing for GOAT status if we were talking about just like footballing ability. I think it's the contribution you have to consider they've made to the club as well. And Carragher's, he's second on the all-time list of appearances.
I hear it.
Yeah, he wasn't. If we were talking football-wise, he'd probably be in the good tier. I think sometimes his ability is played down, but the fact that he was so versatile at the back, the fact he worked on his game so hard, you've got to credit him. But yeah, I'm with Chris, Jamie, and I think I'd have him at the bottom of GOAT. I think if anyone from the year 2000, if anyone in the banter era deserved to be a GOAT, there's only two men for me, and that's Steven Gerrard and Jamie Carragher. So
yeah, skip in there.
We'll put him bottom.
Our second GOAT.
Are we gonna have a third?
Definitely.
Mr. Barnes. Oh god, look at this. Oh, look at these names coming out.
Oh my
Oh
God.
dear. Look at that go.
Yeah.
It's like they put all the bad ones at the start, man.
John Barnes. John Barnes,
You got
Chris.
to hold or give.
Nah, John Barnes is GOAT. John Barnes is an absolute GOAT of the game. Not only for the fact that when he came in, he was arguably one of the best players in the world. He was rapid. You're in the camera shot, by the way, mate. Yeah.
Hello.
She just wants some of the fame, bless her.
Is that Mother Stone Age?
No, it's my missus.
Oh,
Well, yeah, all right. You're just gonna chill over there, mate. Yeah, okay. You have to budge up a little bit. Just go downstairs or something. Anyway, not only was he absolutely rapid and produced some of the most magical moments that generation of Liverpool fans had, he molded himself when he got injured into a central midfielder where he dictated the play. He wasn't known for his technique, but he evolved his technique and he became one of the best players in the early Liverpool era of the Premier League. The biggest travesty for me is that he didn't get to play much in European competition. Obviously with the Heysel disaster. Well, I understand and also the cultural significance he had, being one of the first black players to play for Liverpool. Yeah, GOAT ability and GOAT legacy.
yeah. There's nothing there that I disagree with. Jamie.
Yeah, I 100% I agree. From the stories that I've been told from so many Liverpool fans, John Barnes is part of the reason why people fell in love with Liverpool Football Club back then. The aura he brought, he was just different. He was different gravy. And although I'm only hearing from stories passed down, it's enough for me to say go. I think that there's not much more to say from what Chris said. I think if you're making people fall in love with the football club because of how good you are as a player, then you're good enough for a GOAT for me. So I'm inclined to agree.
Ben, are we ghosting this man?
Yeah, 100%. It's got to be up there. You know, one of the most technically gifted players I've seen. You know, I've watched a lot of like full games, the ESPN Classic and stuff like that of They have him on quite a bit of that era. And also, I think something else, which isn't about his football ability, John Barnes was one of the first black football players for England internationally. So I think for that generation, he was, those kind of people weren't really given a chance. So for him to be, put on that pedestal to influence, the upcoming black players to go out there and, prove themselves, I think he was such a big influence for that. And this guy is just something else. I mean, we compare him to players we've got now, which we'll get onto in a bit. But John Barnes, from what my dad says, from what I've heard, from what I've seen, do we have a song about John Barnes?
I've never
I don't know
heard
if he's in any of them, is he? But no, one of the greatest Liverpool players, I think it's fair to say.
And as well, he's probably part of, before this, one of the greatest Liverpool teams ever. And it's such a shame it fell in a non-European era for us. That 89-90 team is unbelievable.
He stuck around as well. Like, people forget he stuck around in the 90s, and he kept keeping us relevant at times. I think when he joined Liverpool, there was no doubt that he was the best player in the Premier League. One of the most talented English players. So yeah, I'm making this man a GOAT. We'll get him in there.
We've got a few coming up.
Halftime entertainment, as always. Chris, have we altered our taste in cheese?
I was a camembert man.
Here you go.
What's that?
Too much at Christmas.
It's a very Tory cheese. I'm not gonna lie, lads.
I was thinking that.
Not gonna lie, but baked camembert, honestly, different gravy. But also, my missus just whispered big Tory energy. You can fuck off, mate. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my camembert. Elite.
Jamie, do we have a favourite cheese?
I tell you what, just some grated cheddar cheese from Aldi does the job for me. Stick it in a wrap, you can't go wrong.
Ben, I feel like you hate cheese, mate.
No, it's all right, but you don't need to mix it up. What's not broken?
Yeah, same with Jamie for me. Just basic cheese. It's fine.
I do love a cheese string as well.
Cheese string, baby bells, all of that.
Baby bells.
Baby bells are clapped. Baby bells are clapped.
No way.
Controversial.
Mate,
We'll have to do a cheese tier list one day.
Baby bells.
We'll just do a taste test in one show. Just get a set of cheese. Terrible idea. Horrific idea, actually. We need to move on. Well, how many likes are we on? Are we at the big 40? Even though
40, we are.
We are at 40. Well, I don't really think we got there within the 10-minute radius.
Sorry, no Alberto Moreno impression.
No Alberto Moreno. But if we do get to 50 in the next, we'll give it 15. Alberto Moreno is back on from Chris.
Oh no, he's got to be something different. What can we entice them with?
Who's next coming up? Let's have a look at the next few and think if we can think of anything.
James Milton, just on your most.
You've got to do Stevie G, yeah, course impression.
Sound, no problem.
Absolutely. So when we get to Stevie G, if we're at 50 likes, I'm going to long this out.
My terrible impression.
Yeah. That's what you get, guys. You get Chris.
Is this Henderson the last one, or is there more after Hender?
I think there's more.
We can't see on the screen.
There's
more. Oh God, we've got so many. Right,
we'll have to steamroll through the obvious ones.
Yeah, we'll have to blast through these.
Go.
I think. Are we
Milner tier above goat.
Yeah.
Milner's Ribena tier.
Oh God, wrong one. Are we having Kenny as the greatest player of all time in Liverpool's history, or is a man on that list going to take that crown?
Oh, I'm going to say yes, he is the greatest. Purely because not only as a player but also as a manager. So I would say he has had the greatest influence on Liverpool Football Club of any person, apart from maybe Bill Shankly. So yeah,
And
that's what I would say.
trust in the pixelated pigeon as well.
Yeah.
Jamie, we've got Ian Rush next. Are we? I feel like we have to goat this man as well. He's our all-time top scorer.
Yeah. He's got to be. He's alongside the. He makes the fifth name in GOAT for me. I think that what edges Kenny as well to be the greatest of all time is not only player and manager, like Chris said, but the work he did off the pitch. The things he did for Hillsborough was just unbelievable. So he'd be my greatest, but Ian Rush is definitely in GOAT tier with him.
Ben, are we disagreeing with that? Or are we?
Nah, I think Ian Rush, everyone knows his job is to score goals. Biggest top scorer ever, highest top scorer ever, sorry. Not really much else to say, is there? GOAT.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Also, absolutely ran his socks off every
Yeah.
single match, according to my father. So he won't.
And he's got a
And
great
he's-
touch.
Unbelievable Tash.
Unbelievable. And he broke a lot of Everton fans' hearts regularly.
Oh,
Another one who's still sung on the
Rush
cop.
good for na na na.
Sadio Mane. This is an interesting one. I've got a tier for him, but Chris, where do we have the Senegalese king?
Great. I think he's great. I think he's a great. There was a time, and there still could be time, that I thought he might eclipse Barnes' legacy. In terms of the way he came in, he completely changed. He was the start of the Klopp era, essentially, Mane.
Yeah.
And he has his performance levels, obviously, in the last season or two have dropped, but he's still very much, one of the best forwards in the Premier League, and he's continued that for he's been at the club this is his fifth year now. I think it would be you can't put him below Torres, no way. And I think it's because if we had Mane in the time that Torres was there, Torres was the man. But in Mane's time, we've had Coutinho, we've had Firmino, we've had Salah, we've had Jota, we've had all of these players. So yeah, Mane is definitely middle of great or top of it.
Oh, thank you, Swivelhead. I like your name.
What a name!
Mate, these names are bangers. Traffic stop, Salah creeping up though. These blokes are terrible. I've lost all composure there. Ben, are we gracing Sadio Mane?
Yeah, 100%. I think Sadio, like Chris hit nail on the head, he was the first player that came in that started this whole thing. I remember that Arsenal game. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a moment from a football player where I've just seen them score a goal like that, and I'm just so confident this guy's going to be it. Like, it was mad. The way he chopped in between, I think it was Holding and Chambers, and then banged it top bins. It was one of the best goals. He is so consistent, and look, I know he's not in a great run of form right now, but I've always been reserved on my slander for this guy just because I know how good he is, just because I'm so grateful for what he's done for us. I'm very sentimental, to be fair. Like, I love these guys, Bobby, Salah, I love them all. But Mane, I still think he's got something left in him. I still think he's got a point to prove. People need to remember his comeback from AFCON where he won it. So he might be a bit leggy at the minute, to be fair, but Sadio Mane, bargain, I think it was about 35, 40 million, which is nothing. I think United wanted him as well, actually, when we signed him. Yeah, he's been one of the best signings in my lifetime, for sure.
Are we great there, Jamie, as well?
Yeah, but boys hit the nail on the head for me. It's hard to compare for the likes in GOAT, but this man's still got an ongoing career. So for now, definitely great. the amount of things he's brought for us as well. The Golden Boot in 18-19, where we chased the league that title down to 1 point, wins as the Champions League, some massive goals, and just one behind Salah in the goal tally for when we won the league. So he's just absolutely massively influential to all the success we've had in recent years. So he's definitely a great.
He's a great until we win the quadruple, which I keep saying we're going to do. And
Schedule positivity.
People laugh, but it's just I can't see us losing a game from now until the end of the season. Call me crazy.
Injuries happen, though, man.
Wow.
Injuries. They've already started.
Wow.
Oh,
Don't want to piss on anyone's cornflakes, but I'll take
yeah.
2 trophies would be absolutely sound with me.
Yeah,
No problem.
Here we go. Is this a man that is a? Oh no!
No, Ben, come on.
Do not show, dude. That's uncalled for, Ben. That's uncalled for. Josh on crutches. Poor sight. We got depth though, don't we? We got them Minaminos. Mo Salah.
Go.
Jamie. Go.
Some people saying great in the comments, but nah, not for me. Go.
If you put an all-time Liverpool 11 together, Mo Salah's in it. That's good enough for me.
That's a very, very good point. You've convinced me there. I had him at top of great. I had him. Yeah, no, you know what?
It's
He's
because
our
he's still
leading
playing.
Champions League goal scorer as well. Like I know, I don't know if that's including European Cups, but this guy, what was he? 40 million again. It's that sweet spot that we keep going with all these transfers. There's nothing much to say. I mean, what is it? 120 goals in the Premier League? Is it something like that?
Yeah, he's 149 overall, isn't he? Which is
and that's including his Chelsea stats as well, which killed him.
Boys, I think it's because people are very reluctant on recency bias. Because people are saying, "Oh, you can't compare it to people of old," but I think people get too carried away with nostalgia as well. Like this guy, even though we're witnessing it in front of our eyes right now, will go down as, in my opinion, the greatest player to ever play in the Premier League. If he keeps going the way he is, and I don't see him slowing down. Honestly, he'll end up with 250, 300 goals by the way he's going. And as I said, in all-time GOAT 11s for Liverpool, he's in every single one. And I think it would be foolish for anyone to say anything else.
Swivelhead's just a hater.
Swivelhead, bro.
Let him live, man. Let him live.
Swivelhead's getting hate in the comments.
IMO Christmas isn't a religious festival anymore. It's been commercialized too much. So
yeah, I agree with McCall. I was trying to not be. I was trying to give him. I know Mo Salah
trying to be edgy.
Trying to be edgy. I know he watches it. So trying to give him some extra encouragement to go into the GOAT tier. But yeah, give him if he's here for the next 5 years. I'm sorry, Arsenal fans, but he surpasses Terry Henry's legacy. And Daniel Moran, Salah is the greatest Liverpool footballer of all time. Could he be?
No.
So say he wins 3 leagues, 2 more Champions Leagues, and about 2-3 more domestic cups. Okay, I see.
Kenny and Stevie have got the. I don't know. It's because Stevie's a Scouser, isn't it? Stevie will always be.
Yeah, that's true. Mr. Ribena.
Okay.
James Milner, yeah. Jamie.
Milner, okay.
Okay, this is actually tricky.
Milner and okay.
No way. No way.
Is that what you said, Ben?
Did my connection cut out a bit?
Yeah, what did you say?
Did my connection cut out when I was speaking?
Did you say you were going to be putting him in okay?
Yeah, I mean, we've got to have someone in there, man.
No way.
No, not Milner.
Not Jimmy Milner.
I'm seeing at least one okay there. So for me, he's good. I don't know about you, I want to hear from Ben. Ben, why okay?
I'm basing it on his football ability. He's obviously been a brilliant servant to the club. Played a whole year at left back, which isn't his position, and he did a great job. He's been one of the best free signings I think I've seen in Premier League since I've been watching, and obviously he's been an amazing leader on and off the pitch. I remember hearing a story about how Curtis Jones, when he came through, he was giving it the big and walking around the training ground thinking that he was all this, and Milner had to pull him down and basically said, like, what are you doing? Don't do that. Like, you're not going to make it if you keep doing that. And then Curtis Jones matured and then got into the first team. So obviously he's been a huge influence since we signed him, but I'm just basing it on football ability, to be fair. You could probably have him in the tier above, but I don't know. I think we've got too many in the upper tiers. That's my only thinking, to be fair.
All these players are pretty good, I think. That's probably why.
It's actually quite a decent list. The thing is, I'd say Milner has had at the very least, I think he's had more impact at this club than Javier Mascherano.
That's a great point, yeah.
And I think him and John Riise are, in terms of impact, I think, again, Milner's probably has the edge. So are we happy with dropping Mascherano's here and putting Milner in good?
I'd keep Mascherano in there.
Yeah, I don't think Mascherano was okay, yeah. Just have them both in good then. Just have them both in good. Maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe I'm thinking more into recency kind of thing, but yeah.
And the impact he has on off the pitch as well.
Yeah.
He's such a big figure, and he's the ultimate professional, and he's the Twitter king.
He is. Actually, generally, I think one of the funniest blokes in the team. That's not like me being sarcastic. I actually think he's quite funny.
Unbelievable.
Is that future GOAT Trent Alexander-Arnold? Jamie, thoughts on this man?
Yeah, I wish we did this in 5 years because I genuinely think he'd be GOAT by then. It's just a shame how early we're doing it. This guy's changed not just for Liverpool, but the whole of football, the way you position a right back. He's changed everything about the role. He's a Scouser. He's one of the main reasons we won the Champions League, especially with that one moment with the corner taken quickly. Premier League, again, fundamental, crucial. He'll definitely be GOAT one day, but he's still very, very young. So I think for his quality that he's shown at the minute, I'd put him in great. I think good's way too harsh for what he's done for us. The quality that he shows, I think, great.
For me, he's already a world-class player.
Yeah.
And for me, I've said it and I'll say it again. He'll go down as the greatest right back of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely believe that. For me, we put him in our greatest. We already have him at right back in our Premier League all-time 11. Go on.
I'm not going to lie, mate. I put him in GOAT. And I know it's a very, very early call and it's still a lot going down, but we're looking at potentially one of the best players to ever play the game. I'm not even joking here, especially in his position.
I'm shaking my head at Swivel.
Okay, mate.
Daniel Moran is hater number 2 in the comments.
Oh my God! Who cares about England, mate? England doesn't matter. No one gives a shit, mate. Trent Alexander-Arnold will go down as one of, if not the greatest right back there's ever played the game. He is arguably Liverpool's greatest ever fullback now. And he's 23. And that is an unbelievable comment.
This is the thing that my thought process is the same as Chris. We're basing this on Liverpool, and has there been a better right back? Not in my lifetime. And I've made my thoughts on Trent very clear. I think he's the best in Premier League history already in terms of what he's done, the way he goes forward, the way he dictates the play. When Trent's on a bad day, Liverpool are usually on a bad day. When Trent's at his best, Liverpool are usually at their best. So it's so important how influential he is. And, I think it's a good point that Jamie made. I've not seen any other Premier League manager that's whole creativity comes from their fullbacks, especially right back. So he's a GOAT, 100%. He's going up there for GOAT.
So are Chris and Ben saying GOAT? Jamie, you said great.
I'd say bottom of GOAT. I wouldn't say he's near the top, but he's definitely on the cusp, I would say.
As much
Just
as
going
I
to
love
the
him,
tiers again, Holmes.
there you go.
You've got Carragher in there, and I know he's. But Trent's better. Come on.
But like you've got Mane.
I think there's a lot more Manes than there is Trents in the world of football.
I don't want to, because I want him to see this and have some motivation to say I'm great. But I need to be a GOAT.
Overall, mate. Go on,
I just think
you've got the control here.
If you've got Carragher up there, I think if you put Trent below that, it's gonna. I'm not sure if we can do that.
Should we move Carragher down? I think we've got to move Carragher down. I think Carragher's sticking out like a sore thumb there.
Because we have to, yeah. I'm gonna have Carragher. All right, this is my show.
Top of great,
I
yeah.
run the law. I've got Trent.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
I'll take that. That's fine.
Because you want to keep the GOAT tier extremely special, and there's no doubt that Trent. Mate. Oh, thank you, mate. Make me blush.
To me, anyway.
I'm like your baked camembert. What do you value more, me or the cheese, Chris? Yeah, for me, he's he will be in that top tier, but
I've changed my cheese opinion, by the way. I completely forgot about halloumi and how that exists.
Well, yeah, that is, I think, the GOAT cheese.
Yeah, so, I think, I changed it. Halloumi
away. Can we just? Okay, I want us all to have our piece on this man. Jamie, just tell us about Stevie G.
Liverpool Football Club. That is literally it. He just summarises as a football club. Everything about him was tailor-made for Liverpool. And we're just very, very fortunate that he didn't do Fernando Torres and go to Chelsea when Moreno came knocking, but he didn't, and that's why he's the GOAT legacy. I think it's a 50-50 battle between him and Gerrard, who's the greatest, between him and Kenny. I personally, but I've been able to watch the last years of Gerrard where I wasn't able to watch Kenny. But I would put Gerrard GOAT for Liverpool Football Club. I think if you said to anyone out there, first player you think of when it comes to Liverpool Football Club, I think Stevie G's the first name they mention. And there's reasons behind that. There's a cup final named after him. He brought us the best comeback in Champions League history. He grabbed the team by the scruff of the neck. He gets 2 goals back. And we go on to win Istanbul, which is the best achievement as Liverpool Football Club. I think he is the greatest of all time in a Liverpool Football Club shirt.
Swivelhead, you're not a Liverpool fan,
mate. Swivel lad.
Swivel.
What is this guy on?
We love the interaction, but kindly don't state your opinions if they smell that bad, bro.
I'm loving it. Keep it coming, Swivelhead.
Who's an edgy boy? You are.
None you're getting involved. None of your business. None of your business is saying to Swivelhead, that's none of your business. Quality chat. Ben, Stevie G.
This guy is the reason why I even watch football. There's guys that just make you fall in love with the game. He was that for me. It comes down to the whole primary school thing on the playground. Everyone's shouting Gerrard when they go to shoot. So many iconic moments. We can't even talk about them all. We'll be here all night. Another reason why I absolutely adore the man. I've said this story before. In John Lennon Airport, I actually met him right there. There's the GOAT himself. Some would say two goats
Yeah.
on one picture, but he
Only
was with his
some.
family. He was getting ready to go on his holiday in the postseason, and he still had time to have a photo with me. So he's the GOAT, man. From what I've seen, obviously, like Jamie said, it's between him and Kenny. From what we can only really say from what we've seen, there's been nobody close to Steven Gerrard in a Liverpool shirt, and I don't think there will be. In terms of just somebody that stuck by the club through thick and thin. Like somebody in the comments said, Mourinho tried 3 times to get him. Ferguson wanted him as a kid. He could have left and he could have gone to Chelsea. He could have completed football. He could have won the lot. But he said that one trophy with Liverpool is worth more than 10 trophies with another club. So he's Mr. Liverpool. He's the GOAT. I believe he's going to be the Liverpool manager one day, which I've got an opinion on, but that's for another day. But yeah, Stevie G's the GOAT.
Yeah, not a word wrong there. Chris, take it away.
Yeah. As these guys mentioned, obviously he's a big reason as to why all of us are big Liverpool fans. I think when I first started supporting the club, Steven Gerrard was in his absolute pomp. 2008-09 was the first season I really remember taking in and knowing about the game. And Steven Gerrard was his best season. He won PFA Player of the Year that year. Scored 16 league goals. I remember one of my all-time favorite goals is when it was away at Newcastle and we won 5-1, I think. And he was through on goal and he just dinked the keeper.
Yeah.
It's just such a satisfying goal to watch, and the celebration was amazing. I wouldn't say he's the greatest Liverpool player of all time, purely because I think Dalglish is in another stratosphere. Obviously, he's very, very close, but because I've been raised by 2 people who went to see Liverpool all the time in the 70s and 80s, I'm very much on the Dalglish boat. But I don't think I think it's a natural human instinct to compare. But as Rio Ferdinand said, just appreciate it, man. Just enjoy it.
Just enjoy it. Just enjoy the two of them. Ragnar Klavan and Dejan, nothing.
The bird goal.
For me, and he's the greatest Liverpool player of all time, and I'm happy to say that because he kept us relevant in our darkest days. And even though he probably doesn't have the trophies that the players in the 70s and the 80s had, but the role he played for our club is so underappreciated because, one, you stick him in those teams, he's considered without a doubt, I guarantee you, our greatest player of all time. You stick him in today's team, people will be calling him the best midfielder in the world. For me, he was the best midfielder of his generation, English, and I think you have people like Zidane. Okay, I'm gonna alter that generation. I say Zidane's the generation before of Stevie G's generation. For me, he's the greatest. He had everything. And yeah, it's that quote. It's the I think Jurgen Klopp. It was the Jurgen Klopp. It was like Liverpool were built or like on the legs of Stevie G.
Yeah.
And it's it's like he kept us going. So yeah, for me, he's GOAT and for me the greatest player of all time.
The disrespect to even have him in the same sentence as Paul Scholes. Like, don't compare the two, man. Steven Gerrard is by far and away clear
in all aspects of life.
I think Noah wants to know where Grizz is.
Grizz is on the Big Six show. So Noah,
B team tonight.
B team. They're in the Conference League. We're Europa League action.
Origi and Minamino are on.
Yeah, you've got the Carabao Cup team out today. Mate,
no, I just seen him spamming. What the hell? No, man, chill.
They're calling Ben and me the Carabao Cup. I don't know, the Grizz Khan, Messi and Ronaldo.
Lampard or Gerrard? Come on, Swivel, man.
Swivel.
No.
Swivel. I was missing your comments, but I didn't miss them.
Who have we got next, Stones?
Yeah, let's get this going, boys. Come on, let's do this.
Xabi Alonso, where we got him?
Good.
Hello, NSO.
Chris, are we good?
I put good. As a footballer, if you put him in today's team, Jesus Christ, having Alonso as an I don't actually does he get in today's team in terms of because he was the sitter unless we play 4-2-3-1.
I think he'd get the Thiago treatment.
I think they're very similar players. I think Thiago's a bit more mobile.
Yeah.
But Alonso is a technician. His passing ability, I genuinely think it was better than Gerrard's.
That swivel one. Was it Fulham where he done it on like the half turn?
Unbelievable. But at the same time, he didn't. He was a big part in Istanbul. Does he get ahead of Fabinho, Daniel? If we're playing 4-3-3, I don't think he does. But yeah, I put him in very top of good or bottom of great. So I'll just say top of good.
Ben?
I think it's completely different to Fabinho. I think obviously if you want more defensive stability, you go with Fabinho all day, every day. But Alonso's technical ability was different class. I think the comparison to Thiago is good because, like Chris said, his passing was on par, if not better than Gerrard's, whilst he still had that, defensive side to his game. So I think with Alonso, the reason why I'm okay to put him on good is because I think he got better after he left Liverpool. When he went to Real Madrid, I think that's when he went to a different level. So for us, I think good is fair.
Are we in agreement there, Jamie?
Yeah. I've grew up on clips of him, and to be honest, I can sit here and just watch Alonso pass compilation all day. I enjoy every single one of them, even if I'm watching them 100 times over. He was an absolute superb player, a very lovely player to watch on the eye. But I'm inclined to go with the more experience here and go with good. I'm happy.
Yeah, I think one of the best midfielders of his generation, but I think we'll have him top of good.
Absolute crime from Rafa Benitez. The worst thing he ever did as Liverpool manager.
Gareth Barry as well. Luis Suarez. Now, I'm just gonna go first here and say the most talented footballer we've seen in like Liverpool have had in Premier League history. That season was insane. But I'm going to have him as a great because he's not a GOAT of Liverpool Football Club. He was one of our greatest ever players. But for me he's great. Chris, where do we have him?
I think we should move Torres down, boys. I do because I don't. I think Suarez was a level above. I know their goal records are very similar. But as an individual footballer, I don't think we'll ever see a player as good as Luis Suarez play for Liverpool. He was the definition of carrying. All right, Luis Suarez was a carrier of that Liverpool team. Sturridge and Sterling scored goals, but that's because of Suarez giving them the space. They had 4 men on him, and he'd still mug them off.
Yeah.
Shame he obviously did the comment to Evra and he bit people, but he's a troubled genius. But you can't put him in GOAT because it was only 2 seasons really that he excelled. But at the same time, he's better than Torres. He's just on a different level. I think we should move him down and put Suarez at the bottom of great. That would be my decision.
Ben, what are we doing?
This is so hard. Let me just say, in terms of football ability, GOAT. One of the best, if not the best I've ever seen, just like you said, Holmes. And this is tough for me because Suarez was like my prime as like a Liverpool fan. Like when I was like into it, like fully, like I was all in. Seeing him from coming in 2011. He was even then, like I know he wasn't getting 30, 35 goals or whatever, but he was still incredible. So there's a lot of sentiment there for me in Suarez. I was going to school every day with Arsenal fans saying how much better he was than Van Persie, and they were laughing at me, and I was like, okay, you wait and see. And then I won. In the end, they saw how good he was. It's a similar thing to Alonso, I think, as well. When he left Liverpool, I know it's crazy to believe, he went on and got better. He scored like 50 goals in the season. And then, he just kept doing that every season at Barca whilst he was in his prime. The longevity thing, of course, it's a big factor. As Chris said, only 2 seasons where he was, you'd probably say he was the best striker in the league, best player in the league. So I also think Mo Salah surpassed him now. So I'm happy to put him in the tier below.
Yeah, Jamie, are we grading this man?
Yeah, definitely great. Everyone said it in terms of abilities, GOAT. It's just such a shame that we saw Suarez in the team that we did. I don't even think he got necessarily better at Barca in terms of how good he was. I think he was always that good at Liverpool, but the players around him never held their weight. And imagine Suarez, the team that we had now, say last season instead of Firmino, it would be an absolute joker. We'd be untouchable. Honestly, it broke my heart when he left. What one of the first loves in a Liverpool shirt for definitely my generation. But he's topper great for me. But in terms of Liverpool legacy, I'm happy with great. He has to be.
Yeah, I think we'll listen to the ever wise Chris and God.
I think you got to move Torres down.
Yeah, we'll
I love
him
him.
there.
But all-time GOAT, all-time favourite player that I've just because he was my first one, but he's not on the same level. Never was.
Can we order these greats because it's triggering me seeing Carragher ahead of Mane and Suarez?
Yeah.
Well, Carragher went from GOAT tier, honestly.
I'm sorry, Cara, mate.
I think Suarez has got to be like
I'm
in the top
doing,
3 or something.
I'm doing that.
I don't think it's irrelevant really, but I don't think I'd put Suarez ahead of Mane. Purely because Mane's done it for a lot longer, even though Suarez was unbelievable.
I don't know what to do here. I'm just saying.
I think that's fine.
Yeah,
that's all right. That's fine.
Well,
I think we might have our first okay here, boys.
Are we okay?
Okay.
Okay, the unlucky. Cult hero.
Yeah.
Cult hero. He won a trophy. He gave a good 10 years to the club. Chris, thoughts on the most okay midfielder we've ever had?
I think you've summed it up there. Lucas, legend of a man, provided some of the best content LFC TV has ever seen. But I tell you what. Oh, hello. There we go. Hey, no one loves it. But he unfortunately, despite the fact he stayed at Liverpool for 10 years, his best years were taken away from him by injury.
Yeah.
I think it was 10-11, he won our player of the season and he got injured right at the end of it. He was absolutely excellent. And then just when Rodgers came, injury came again. I think he reinvented himself as a centre-back towards the end of his Liverpool career. But testament to Lucas and how good he is the fact that he's still playing now at a high level at Lazio.
Mm-hmm.
But he's okay. He was just okay. And that's fine. I'd take being okay at Liverpool.
Yeah. I think the Lucas Leiva thing as well, he was incredible and then he got a mad injury. And I think after his injury, he was never the same player. So, yeah, he just became okay. And he did a job at centre-back as well for a bit, to be fair.
He did. I remember we played City and he absolutely pocketed Yaya Toure, like prime Yaya Toure. I remember it was a 1-1 draw.
Fun fact about Lucas, by the way, he's the first player I ever saw score at Anfield.
and that's what was that? Was that a Europa League game?
It was Atletico Madrid in a friendly in 2009.
He's the
first one I ever saw score, and the other two players who scored in that game. People say Sergio Aguero never scored at Anfield. He did. He scored in that game, and Diego Forlan scored as well.
And then Forlan would haunt us in the Europa League semis. Bad days. Have we all had our... Ben, have you had your piece on Lucas?
Yeah.
Jamie, have you had your piece?
Okay.
Are we all...
Yeah, I was just going to say, for me, this this was actually my first Liverpool hero. I absolutely love this man. I think Lucas Leiva is the first player I ever got on the back of a Liverpool shirt. He was my childhood. I wanted to. Not many people say this, but I wanted to be the Lucas Leiva growing up. I thought he was
You got his
absolutely
hair, to be fair,
phenomenal.
mate.
he was so underrated for Liverpool, but the injury stopped him being in that good to great tier. When you look at the players, in good ability wise, I don't think he touches them. Legacy 10 years, I think it's fantastic. Just lacks the trophies, but I'm happy to say okay.
Yeah, he is okay. He's a legend of a man, but at the club he is okay. Right, man in the news, shall we say, at the very least. Jordan Brian Henderson.
Balding Brian, I saw some people call him.
Balding. Oh, he is balding, isn't he?
He's going bald, yeah. He's going bald, yeah.
Yeah, someone got a picture of the back of his head. Yes.
Bless him.
One trip to Turkey and he's fine. Chris.
Goat human. Unbelievable bloke. Brilliant captain. Excellent leader. Longevity's there. He's been through so much in his Liverpool career, through being nearly swapped for Clint Dempsey, to be replacing Steven Gerrard. This is exactly what I was saying before the stream, by the way, Noah. He is more than Goat. He is S. He is got his own tier, but
he was in the Ribena tier with James Milner.
But in terms of Hendo, he's still going now. Yes, he's got his doubters, and I think a lot of people disrespect him, and I think he's become somewhat underrated because everyone likes to jump. Something about this fan base is they love a scapegoat, and I think Henderson's the one at the moment. But for me, he's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jamie, where do you have him though?
Yeah, I'm glad Chris said great, because I think despite the negativity people put on Twitter about this man recently, in terms of Liverpool legacy and a full-time tier list, this is the time where we have to give him his praise. His journey's been absolutely fantastic, key member to our success. I remember the Premier League. In the season we won it, we couldn't play without Henderson. He was that vital to us as a captain, as a leader, and as a player. He was absolutely fantastic. As Chris said, very underrated recently. He goes under the radar. Maybe he's not having the best season, but as his Liverpool legacy and captain, the one to take over Gerrard, I think he's done it fantastically. So great for everything he's done for us. Great. He's thoroughly deserved.
Yeah, I think great. I see Ali go. He has to be GOAT. He's, in terms of what he's done as captain, that will live long in like the memory of all Liverpool fans. Breaking that 30-year, the shuffle, and I'm sure he's got a few more trophies to lift. But I think great. It just makes sense. I'm just gonna put him in. It just makes sense for him to be great. I don't know where I'd have him. I'd probably just stick him in the middle. Are we there?
He wouldn't get in any all-time 11s. That's what
I'd have Carragher ahead.
Yeah.
Mane, like you got the longevity thing though.
Mm.
I understand all the points. But again, when it comes to ability, I think he's probably below the Suarez's and Mane's and some of the players we've got there. But you can't argue with what he's done. You can't off the pitch as well. Everything he stands for. You know, I love the guy like Chris said, as a human being. He's unbelievable. You know, the LGBT thing, the racism thing. You know, when football was coming back. I think he gathered around a lot of the captains from all the other clubs and, you know, spoke about how we're going to do things. So, yeah, he's got to be up there.
And as Ali said, he had to follow Steven Gerrard, who is on top of this list. Everyone, and I think he got a bit of a rough hand with that. He was still young. He wasn't that deep into his Liverpool career, maybe 4 or 5 years. He he wasn't the first name on the team sheet either, but to be given that responsibility at the age he was, and he was Jurgen Klopp's captain as well. Jurgen Klopp could have changed the captaincy multiple times. I remember there was a big crying out for Van Dijk to be named captain at one point. Everyone voted in the squad voted for Henderson. Everyone admires Henderson as a leader. So yeah, definite great.
I think there's 2 points here I can make. For me, he's the best captain in the league currently. For all he's done on and off the field. And I think he should have been given the England captaincy because I know he doesn't start, but like for me, you look at Harry Kane, are you really inspired? I don't know.
Only charges.
Get the brothers to 50 likes, people. We're not at 50. Come on,
mate. Harry Kane's motivational speech in the All or Nothing documentary absolutely had me in stitches.
What was it again? I don't even want you to do it.
Charges. Oh.
Moving.
It's like he just sounds like he was swearing for the sake of it. Like you don't swear, mate.
I remember that. You got Mourinho losing his mind. What a joke of a club. Pepe Reina. Now, for me, he's good.
We can just skip through these and just quickly say it in like a couple sentences, can't we?
Yeah, for me, good. Like he won us really the FA Cup on pens, the League Cup on pens. He had the odd error in him, but we could depend on him. He made a few costly mistakes, but for me, he's good. Ben.
Just go back on the tears again, mate. Just a sec. Can you put him in the same bracket as Alonso and Torres? I'd probably say no.
I'd probably say yes, just.
Reckon? I think he...
Purely because of...
I think... Go on.
Sorry, mate. Sorry for interrupting. Purely his record. He won, 3 or 4 Golden Gloves in a row. Yes, that might have been down to Rafa's system. Actually, no, you know what? I don't think we can. Because he fell off quite a lot.
That's what I was going to say. When he fell off, mate, he fell off.
Jamie, sorry.
Jamie.
I'm working at 6. I'm working
half term tomorrow.
It's hard. Yeah, Jamie, where you got Pepe?
I think he's between okay and good. He was a fan favourite. I remember as a youngster chanting in the crowd, Pepe Reina, stay. So I think that speaks volumes for him. We all loved him. So I would say good. I'd put him in good, but low good.
So did we have him? So Chris, did you have him in good?
I've changed to it. I think he's okay.
And Ben,
purely because I don't think you can rank him in the same as the other guys.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Ben, did you have him in okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Should we have him top of okay?
Well, there's not many people in there, so maybe we can fill it up.
50-50.
He's second. He's bottom of okay. We'll go on to. Oh, what a player! What a player! Phil Coutinho, Ben.
Oh, mate, listen. I've got a Barca shirt with his name on somewhere because I can't get a Liverpool one because it's too expensive. Phil Coutinho is one of those players that I just fell in love with. Again, similar to Suarez, Gerrard. There's not as much as Gerrard. No one's as much as that. But Coutinho, man, like he's the guy I grew up watching. I saw him sign from Inter Milan as a kid with the afro. You know, thought, okay, this guy could be a bit of a gem. Obviously, I think he played under Rafa at Inter as well. So I was excited about him coming in. And then even before he was world class, like this guy was one of my favourite players. Then obviously we saw him get to the world class stage. Unfortunately, just at that moment, 17, 18, we probably weren't the most luxurious clubs to play for. Don't think he truly believed in the project. Probably thought that if he went to Barca, he'd win everything. And fair play, like, you know, it is what it is. If that's the club you've always dreamt of playing for, which it is for most of these South Americans, then when they come knocking, you can't really say no. But for me, Coutinho is one of the best technicians I've seen at Liverpool. His goals, like the quality of the goals he scored as well, just incredible. Every time he cut in from that left-hand side, you knew it was going in. You knew it, like every time he shaped up to shoot. So, yeah, just go on to the tiers again, mate, so I can see what we're dealing with. Good. Yeah, I think you can't put him in great because maybe he was only at the top of his game for us for 2-3 seasons. I'd put him amongst Torres and Alonso. I don't know what you guys feel about that, but
100% agree.
yeah.
I'd put him smack bang in the middle. He could have been great. He could have even been a
Could have
go.
been special, man.
But as you said, like at the end of the day, he funded Van Dijk and Alisson. I'm not gonna lie.
That is GOAT movement in itself. To be fair.
Michael Edwards prime moments. But yeah, I'd stick him slap bang in the middle.
Jamie, we're good with that.
Yeah, good with that. Just I loved it. I love the man. I just don't like the way he left. So, but yeah,
I always say it. In that 17-18 season, he was our player of the season until he left. Ahead of Mo Salah.
He was unreal.
He was like, you know how I said it. I remember, and you can backtrack this to me on Twitter. So there was all the rumors in the summer of him leaving, and I was like, do you remember Suarez had that before he dropped that overall season? I was like, Coutinho is going to drop a great season if he stays now, and it's a shame he was there for half a season because I think he was on for PFA Player of the Year, and obviously Mo Salah took over. The rest is history. Right?
And Coutinho leaving unleashed Oxlade-Chamberlain to the world.
Oh, you needed to get that in, didn't you?
Oh, of course I did.
You needed to get that. To be fair, that Ox was unreal. One of my favourite players of all time, Bobby Firmino. Just look at that smile. Ben, where do we have him?
This is tricky because
it is.
We've got Hendo and Mane on great, and then you got Torres on good. Legacy, he's got a better legacy than Torres for sure. Talent-wise, ability-wise, we know he's got that as well. I think with Bobby is like we don't do it because we have common sense and we know what his role is. But other fans see the number 9 in the back of his shirt, which I don't understand why he moved to that. I preferred as 11, but there we go. I think Bobby's up there. I don't know. I'd probably put him up there with Mane and Henderson. To be fair, just because of what he's done, instrumental to winning the Champions League, Premier League, so many games. To be fair, if you look back, that games that we've won 2-1 in, so many of those games where Bobby scored in those games, like where we've literally won it by a goal. There's so many. Like obviously, on top of my head, I don't know them, but if you look back on the results and you see loads of Liverpool like 2-1s or 1-0s, Bobby scored so many clutch goals. I'd put him. Yeah, I'll put him great. It could be controversial, to be fair, but
I don't think it is.
No, I'm glad Ben said that. It possibly it's down to what take you take. If you take ability, if you take longevity as a career with Fernando Torres and Bobby, but the comment said it is longevity for what he's done for us, what he's done with Klopp. It is Klopp's perfect false nine. I don't think anyone could have ever come in and do the same job that Bobby does, and no one will ever replicate it. He's just absolutely fantastic, and he epitomises the Liverpool press, the way it works, the glue to the team. Won us the Club World Cup, massive in every trophy we've won. He's just so underrated. I think great. We would be underrating him putting him in good. So I think great is perfect for him.
Chris, we with that?
100% spot on. Bobby, I mean, he's still doing it now. He might not be the player he once was in terms of his consistency, but the man still comes up like that goal yesterday. Was just came up clutch. He just loves it, mate. He loves it. He's such one of the most lovable players because he just doesn't stop smiling. He enjoys the game. He plays with flair. And yes, that can sometimes get frustrating, but mate, I think he goes down as one of our best players, especially in this era.
Yeah, no, I agree. He sort of started the Klopp revolution. He was like the first player that gave.
Brendan Rodgers signing though.
No, I know.
Brendan
but,
Rodgers
like,
played him at wing back as well. At one
yeah.
point.
I think if
Beautiful.
you look at the Klopp DNA of the club, it was having Firmino leading the line, pressing from the front. Klopp knew what you're getting out of Bobby Firmino. And that 17-18 season, I think that was quality-wise his best. But the Champions League winning season scored so many crucial goals. You got PSG, the league winning season. You had the like Ben said, he popped up with so many 1-0s. He won us the Club World Cup effectively.
What a goal.
And I remember the Wolves away. That was a scary game, and he comes up with that goal, and I was like, yeah, that's the league there. So for me, I think we're all in agreement. He's a great. I'd have him here.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Does he? Yeah, I think just because of he's been there 3 years longer, I think you got to put him ahead of Alisson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think in terms of individual quality, Alisson is probably unreal. But
Alisson will be in GOAT by the time he leaves. But yeah.
Yeah.
Where's Jamie from? Can't tell from his accent.
I'm from a small town, so you won't know. But I'm 40 minutes away from Liverpool. I'm about closest big town's Blackpool, but that's about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Tory.
Northwest.
Toryland.
No. Blackpool and Liverpool aren't Tories, lad.
Mate, I tell you what, I'm from Toryland, but I'm probably the biggest anti-Tory you'll find. Probably that's product of the older, the Liverpool fan fandom. But yeah,
Old generation.
I'm
Ray
joking,
Clemence.
Jamie is not a Tory. I think he's got to go and go
yeah.
because he's the best in his position. That everyone always says like, "Oh, Clemence, Grobbelaar," but Clemence is probably the one. Obviously, I don't know too much about the guy. I'm not going to sit there and pretend that I do, but it's the same old story. Like from what we've heard, the way people are in awe of this guy when they talk about him, you have to respect it.
I appreciate that, but
Yeah.
like Steven Gerrard, come on, mate.
I mean, if we're creating an extra tier, I think if you've got the GOAT tier, you've got Stevie G and Kenny Dalglish in it.
That's it.
That's your GOAT. Yeah, I mean, there's not much really to say on Ray. I think we're all in agreement. This guy is probably, in terms of legacy,
And his reception when he came back with Tottenham.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you guys have seen that.
yeah.
It shows how much people rated him and loved him, and he was picked up from Scunthorpe, I believe.
I've just seen that on his wiki. He played 470 league games for us. It's just mad.
Unreal.
Right, that's crazy. Right, we have.
I put him above Mo and Barnes probably. Would
you have? So yeah, I agree. I'd have him there. Steve McMahon.
What a lovely bloke. Meeting him again this year, but interviewed him. Really sound fella and a cracking player.
He was a midfielder, wasn't he? He was quite a box-to-box player, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he came from Everton. He saw sense, and came from Everton to Liverpool. And yeah, he's always been rated by, especially opposition fans. I've noticed of a certain generation. They always thought he is one of the linchpins, and he was of that. As I mentioned, one of the greatest Liverpool teams ever between 87 and 90. To be fair, though, I'd probably either say top of good or bottom of great, purely because the longevity wasn't there, and I don't think he had as much impact as some of the people in great. But I think he's a better footballer than Henderson, but I don't think he's had as much of an impact.
He probably. You having. You've got Fabinho and great. You've got Torres at the top of good. That's the thing. Like, are you having him above Fernando Torres?
Probably.
In terms of like legacy of the club, yeah. If we're trying to balance that out with talent, I'd have him top of good. I don't know, Jamie, Ben.
I ain't got a clue, mate. I'll just leave this one to you two.
Sandovo thinks
Pogba's
is
better
best
than
ever,
all of
isn't
them. Mate, Pogba doesn't even make our bench now in today's team.
Pogba's better than all of them. Probably better at dancing than all of them. Yeah,
he? Hansen. Haircuts.
got top tier haircuts. To be fair,
Nonya's backing us. Nonya's always
Fighting
got
our
our
battle.
back. He's fighting our battle in the comment section. we need to give Nonya a round of applause.
Man had 6 years at Liverpool. Played over 200 games, hard as nails, as he said. And one of the most complete defensive midfielders you find. Defensively orientated midfielders. So, but yeah, top of good. I think is fair.
All right,
Is he a pundit now, isn't he?
Oh, he's
Yeah,
a commentator and he's an awful one.
He's done bits and bats. Yeah.
On BT Sport, I think he's terrible.
Do you mean Steve McManaman?
Oh yeah, is that who he was talking about?
No, Steve McMahon.
Yeah, I thought so.
Clip
I
that.
said Manneman.
No. Steve McMahon.
I'm
Fighting
sure.
sort of-
Yeah, but I'm sure I've seen him on the telly as well.
Yeah,
Big and bold now, isn't he? Yeah.
he has done a couple of things over in because I think he used to live in Singapore, so he's done things out there. Absolutely, as I mentioned, top bloke, really, really nice guy.
Cool.
One of the magicians of Liverpool Football Club, Luis Garcia, has an unbelievable song. Contributed some of our greatest moments in our club's history. For me, he is. Oh, this is hard. I think good. Chris.
Goat moments. Obviously, I've got a signed photo of him. You know, he scored
Mate,
probably
you got
one
some
of the
right memorabilia. You.
I know, honestly, everywhere. Goat moments. Inconsistent player, I have to say. And there's a reason why he was sold. He's in okay for me.
Really?
Yeah. If you look at his record, it's not that good.
Yeah.
I think of the Champions League run though, and him in Europe was always so.
He's
good.
a cult hero, but
Yeah, but then
we
could put Divock Origi in GOAT if we was going down that route. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't know. I think I probably agree to be fair because he wasn't as good as Torres, and Torres isn't good. So
yeah, and
yeah. Iconic moments. It is kind of similar to Divock, to be fair. Obviously, I think Garcia was a far better football player. Don't get me wrong, but I think when you think of the big moments, that's what that's the legacy Garcia's left behind, isn't it? Not Aston Villa away at 3 p.m. on a Saturday.
on a whole level, I don't think you can put him above Pepe Reina. He scored his record. The most he ever scored in a season for Liverpool was 13.
But he wasn't an out and out 9.
No, but
he played him. I would have him bottom of good. So Chris, you're saying okay?
I'd say top of okay.
Jamie,
maybe even second in okay, to be honest. Inconsistent.
Where are we, Jamie, with that?
I'd have to follow it again before my time. But yeah, I'd follow. I'd say okay. Top of okay.
I'd agree. Owens, I know you want to go say higher, but I don't know, man. I just look at some of those players, Alonso, Torres. I just don't think Garcia was on that standard.
I mean, I'll run out of the area.
Have you got any credits in this one?
Oh, I use all my credits in the all-time Premier League 11 to get Trent in that team. There's no way G-Nev or Branislav Ivanovic.
No chance, man.
Despite winning the league for United, where would you have Owen? I would need a Judas.
Owen is one of the most underrated footballers.
I think
because he's a prat of a pundit and he went to United.
I think realistically, Owen has to be. I think you'd probably put him in the great tier.
I put Owen either top of good or great.
I'd have him bottom of great. But he won the Ballon d'Or.
But the longevity with him again, he probably only had 4 years. where he's really at the top of his game, and then,
He
well,
won a lot of trophies. He's got an FA Cup final pretty much named after him as well.
yeah, and he's I was going to be named after him. I was going to be called I was going to be called Owen, but that's become my middle name. Luckily,
Chris. Who was Chris? We've never had a Chris Kirkland.
Chris Kirkland. I definitely don't want to be named after him. That's what he's been saying in the ground.
Yeah, he's terrible conversation. Jamie.
Yes.
Andy Robertson. Is he the greatest left back in Liverpool history?
Yeah. Can we just get the tier list up
Again.
Okay, I'm gonna have to put him in great because I think Trent, him and Trent, in terms of legacy, are hand in hand. They've been through the same. They've experienced the same. They've won the same. They've done what they've done together. Whether you think Trent's a bit better as a fullback or Robertson's a bit better as a fullback, in terms of Liverpool legacy, I think they're hand in hand the same as each other. I think you look at all the names. You've only got Milner from our current team in the section below. So I think it's got to be right that we put Robertson along them names in great.
Yeah, I'd have him. I think I'd have him near the bottom end of great.
That's fair.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd probably say he is the bottom of great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Andy Robbo.
I think we swapped Kevin Stewart for this guy for 8 million.
Kevin Stewart.
We sold Hull Kevin Stewart for 8 mil. We signed Robertson for 8 million in return. So again, one of the best pieces of businesses I've seen at the club. No one expected him to get to this level, to be fair. I don't know what you guys thought when we signed Robertson, but I thought it's an improvement on Moreno for sure. But I don't know. Is he gonna be top class? I don't know. But Robertson literally just took it to another level. And again, Klopp took his time with him. He didn't put him in straight away. Moreno was still playing games. And now Robertson, he's up there in the question when people talk about the great left backs, not even just for Liverpool, just Premier League history. You know, they look at Cole, Robertson, Evra. He's up in there in that question, to be fair. So I think it's he's definitely in the great category for sure. I think Jamie said as well, the legacy, both of them have set both the full backs. I think they've both been as instrumental as each other. So I don't think you can put one in and leave the other out.
I think both of them come as a pair, but then let's be real, Trent is, in terms of quality, a level above. But yeah, they do come as a pair. So I'm happy to have him bottom of great.
With view to becoming a GOAT, I think, as well.
Yeah. I think, there's him and Trent
to be
potential.
By the time they're done.
Is he Liverpool's greatest ever signing? I don't think so.
I think it's too many.
It depends how you judge a signing. There's so many different. Like you could say Dalglish, then you could say Salah, but then in terms of value for money,
you say Van Dijk.
Yeah, it's crazy. Value for money, possibly, but
with a day and age of money now, 7.5 million for the best left back in the world. It is possibly the greatest business, but not the greatest signing, in my opinion.
It's very good business. Right, there we have it. That looks all right.
I think we've got that absolutely spot on. I'm not going to lie.
I'm gonna tweet this out, Holmes, and then I'll retweet
I'll tweet it, and then everyone.
I think I will take the L if anyone judges Torres, but I'm in the firm belief that he doesn't belong anywhere near those people in great.
Okay, now I've seen Luis Garcia and okay, it makes sense because I would not actually have him good. God, we're actually really good at this. We're really good at this. Like even Ben, when we did the Premier League all-time 11, I was like, that's actually a really. I'm telling you, the young generation needs to take over.
Exactly, mate. We will.
Before we close up, any other players you think would?
Van Dijk wasn't in there, was he? Why was Van Dijk not in that tier list?
That's a great point.
Ryan Babel,
David and Gog.
I wanted to see Dirk Kuyt.
Duck out, yeah. Maxi
That would have been
Rodriguez.
interesting.
Maxi Rodriguez
Christian
turned up in about 6 games in his Liverpool career.
For
scored
one
Had a good
Bologna.
chant though.
For 1 month, he was the best player in the world.
Mate, incredible.
What about Kyriakos?
A player of his time, I would say.
There was a really bad time where we got Paul Konchesky. We've doubled up on the Konchesky shouts.
His mum's a massive Scouse hater as well. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah, like one Facebook post saying, "Oh yeah, bin dippers, all that crap."
He made me cry for 20 minutes in 2006
when he scored that fluke.
End the day, he's bold, so we move.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I don't think he is anymore. I think he might have gone to Turkey. Let's have a look. This is a great way to end the stream, isn't it? Has Paul Konchesky got hair in 2022? It looks like he does.
I've seen it. If you just
He's
type
got
in on
like a-
Google Paul Konchesky hair, the first one that comes up, he's actually got hair.
I'm pretty sure he does have hair now these days. Respect.
Wow, he's an ugly man.
He does have hair. He's a West Ham United women coach.
Maybe he's just done.
I'm not
You know what-
commenting
you know
on that. I'm not
Do
commenting.
you know what Scott Brown did?
Shaved
He just shaved his head because he
Shaves
wanted
it,
to look
yeah.
hard. So fair commitment to the cause. But yeah, we'll wrap up there. Thank you, Daniel, as always, in the comments, typing away. Ben, do you wanna do the outro? I mean,
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. All the interaction is always helpful. Shout out to None Your Business and Pixelated Pigeon and all you guys that have been leaving comments from the start.
swivel.
Young Bucks back here again next Thursday, every time 9 p.m. unless we get booted off by the Red Fellas, which hopefully won't happen again. Yeah, thank you for the boys as well for joining us, Chris and Jamie. You've been a pleasure. You're definitely welcome back anytime. So yeah, that's all from me, mate. Don't know if you want to say anything.
Yeah, just you can see all our Twitters there. Follow us.
Yeah,
we need it.
Cheeky plug.
Cheeky
For the
plug.
verified.
Do Chris, Jamie, do you want to plug yourself anymore?
God. Find me on Anfield Agenda if you really want to hear my dulcet tones anymore. I doubt you do, to be fair. LFC Transfer Room. That's about it, really. If you want to hear me speaking the same level of shit that I have been for the last 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Talking about cheese, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Mate, who needs anything else in their life, eh?
Yeah, last thing, like up, subscribe, comment, all of that nonsense. It's not nonsense, it's actually very needed.
It is nonsense. It is absolutely Don't try and big it up, man.
But yeah, thank you. We'll leave it there. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next week. Peace.